wananchi in this sector, but at the same time also gotten very important ideas that have come from the grassroots that are going to help us to improve our service delivery to the public. We have also had opportunity to listen to the security teams that we work together, from the assistant chief to the OCSs, and we think that this engagement is extremely important for us, even as we build teamwork among ourselves as sectors in the actors in the security sector. Baringo is largely a very peaceful county, just like I say the same in Elgeyo Marakwet County. I know that incidences that happen in Baringo in a few corners are extrapolated sometimes, and many people believe or assume that every part of Baringo is in problems. I want to assure investors, tourists, that Baringo continues to be a very important destination with very different products, fantastic sceneries, lakes, rivers, hills, and we have birds and wildlife from Rimoy all the way to Lake Baringo, from Barwesa here to Lake Baringo to the other side of Lake Bogoria, and we continue to encourage many people to visit this county, a beautiful county. We have security incidents. The most prevalent security concerns of Baringo is banditry, just like Elgeyo Marakwet and the other parts of West Pokot, Turkana, Samburu. This Kerio Valley has continued to witness incidences of cattle rustling and sometimes killing of residents in the process of these raids. And this place was kind of a war zone in 2021, 22, actually 23. And a lot has been done since His Excellency the President has come to office, and the leaders who have been in office, led by the Deputy President, who was the Cabinet Secretary in this office, have done a lot of work. The security teams have done also a fantastic job in this county. And I want to tell you that just like other parts of Kerio Valley region, we have been able to pacify many places, including in this Baringo. The border of Baringo with Elgeyo Marakwet is now pacified. The border of Baringo with Tiatich and Laikipia is pacified in the Baringo South. The Baringo North, most parts of Baringo North are now living peacefully. The border of Baringo and Elgeyo Marakwet, especially in Kolo sub-county, most of the areas have been pacified. I just want to report that we have only incidences in few selected areas in Baringo North and Tiati constituency, which continues to be a bit of a challenge, especially Soimosoi division, which is also a ward, and particularly that Loruk area. And then we also have another problem in the corner of Elgeyo Marakwet and Tiati constituency in Baringo County. And of course, we have a problem on the other side of Tiatich and Turkana, and also Tiatich and Samburu. So we continue witnessing few incidences of cattle rustling or banditry, where livestock is stolen and sometimes citizens are attacked. I want to thank the Operation Malisa Walivu for the work that has been done here and that we continue to do. In a number of incidences where livestock have been stolen, there has been tremendous recovery, including 2 weeks ago, and this is really very commendable. We have also reduced significant instances of loss of life, and this is also very commendable, except for situations where through operation bandits are eliminated in the process of exchange of fire with police officers. I want to say that we witnessed a very ugly incident early this year where, also other criminals were moving their acts to the highway, and there was an incident or two that sort of highway robbery that was interlinked with also banditry. And I'm very happy that with the operation, I came here, we had a meeting with the security teams in Loruk, and I'm very happy for the work they have done. We have since turned around that situation, and now the highways are peaceful with highway patrol police who require also greater support. We are trying to support them with more vehicles so that they can continue patrolling this road between here and Nakuru and all the way to towards direction of Tot. I want also to say that we have the security situation keeps mutating. You know, if you allow continuous banditry going on, you know, people, it mutates. It is beyond just stealing livestock. It has now moved to also boundary fights. And these boundary issues have been there. You know, land fights have been there for a very long time. So they keep manifesting itself in different ways. Sometimes as banditry, but sometimes as an outright conflict on land issues. So there is a perennial land conflict around the Oruk area and around the border of Baringo North and Baringo and Tiati constituency. And that, you know, continues to pose a challenge, just the same way Tiatich and Turkana East and Turkana County, and towards Samburu and towards also the question of Baringo South. I want to say this, that I encourage leaders in Baringo County to appreciate that Baringo County is one county in the first place. One county. Land issues within Baringo should really not become an issue. This constituency and the other constituency, that is still Baringo County. In fact, we have administrative units in other counties in this region where there is an overlap. For example, you just go to Elgeyo Marakwet here, Kerio Valley sub-county is both Marakwet East and West. So it shouldn't really create all these problems. What we need to do is to do a proper land demarcation so that once everybody has their title, it does not matter whether that resident is a Tugen or a Pokot and is living in Tiatich or lives in Baringo North. It will not matter because it is a titled citizen of Baringo County and Kenya. And therefore, where you find yourself administratively should not be an issue. The biggest issue here is that the fight over resources, pasture, water, is actually driven by the fact that we don't have clarity on titles. And there is a titling program that is going on, and we will continue supporting it from the security sector. We will also support our brothers and sisters in the lands sector, working together with the counties to make sure that everybody is given their own title. Once they have their title, whether they will be in Baringo North or Baringo or Tiati, doesn't matter. They will all be in Kenya, and that person will have sanctity of title, and their property and land will be protected. As you know, the president, when he came to office, ordered that we must work hard to make sure that the schools that have been closed, students can go back. I'm happy to report that many of those, nearly all of them actually, have had 100% return, even though we cannot say 100% normalcy because they require facilities that are going to help the students. We are still working hard to see how best we can establish some boarding schools that are joined, that have children from all communities studying together. Resources permitting, as you have seen, there is a debate about resources in the Ministry of Education. There is only so far you can go. And I think it's important to ask well-wishers and other development partners to partner with us, and working also with NGCDF to build good schools that are going to be boarding schools that are going to hold students in this region and help them work together. KDF has done its part. The security teams have done their part. We are going to continue working together to upscale this process. I need to say that the constituency that is giving us big security problems here is Tiati constituency. And it's not by accident. It's the reality that Tiati constituency is one of the most marginalized constituencies. The biggest problem there is that there are no schools, no roads, no health facilities, no everything, you know. The concentration of development is along one belt, along the urban areas, Chemalingot, here in Tangul Bay. And so there is need to open up the interior part of Tiatich. We have agreed from the security sector that we are going to establish, and I announced last time, that we are going to establish another seven police stations. I am going to be announcing today that 4 must be built in the next 4 months. By December, we must have new 4 police stations, and not police posts, police stations that are going to be inside Tiati constituency. Places, for example, as I've said, Silale Ward has only one secondary school, you know, and doesn't have any police station. I think it doesn't have a police station at all. An entire ward doesn't have a police station. You have a number.
Even
Tirioko needs another police station. So I have said, of the 7 police stations that I said they must be built immediately, I want to see 4 being built by December. I've given myself a deadline of December to come back, and we have OCS and police station and so forth. We want government to be present where there is a problem than to come and create a buffer between 2 constituencies. We want presence of government inside. On the security roads, we have had very clear consultation with the Minister of Roads, and again, we'll be rolling out some of these security roads, very good maram roads with good bridges that will enable us to have access inside there. The people also are still demanding proper network coverage in these areas, especially our security officers. Again, we will be working together with Communication Authority of Kenya through Universal Fund to support the network providers to see even where they cannot make money from it, they help us to install these communication gadgets for purpose of access in that place. Our desire is to have government presence here. You know, the president announced that we will have KDF training grounds here, and we are going to be, as already been directed by the president, the KDF is working out a program to see which areas that is going to happen. And I want to say that we are going to stay in this valley until peace is fully restored. We are doing very targeted, intelligence-led operations in this region. And we are not only focusing on the small people, the young people. As you know, many bandits are between 15 and 21 years. We are only not focusing on them. We are focusing on their financials. We are focusing on those who are selling guns. We are focusing on those who are selling ammunition. We are also focusing on everybody who is inciting and facilitating. And you must have seen that the police officers have arrested in the recent past, and also some characters have found themselves at the crossroad when they attempt to fight police officers with guns. Some of them have lost their lives, unfortunately. I am here to announce what I did again yesterday in Elgeyo Marakwet County, to say that for every young person, because these are children, some of them 15, 16, 17, they are perpetrators, but they are also victims of society with poor education and so forth. We are giving them this assurance that if they surrender their guns and leave banditry, the government of Kenya is going to find resources, working together with its agencies, including NGCDF, to get them scholarships to go to technical colleges. They learn to be masons, they learn to become plumbers, they become electricians, and then we can help them find other ways of making a living in affordable housing and other places. We want to extend this olive branch to our young people instead of fighting police officers, because we are going to be ruthless. In the next 2-3 months, we are going to be very, very ruthless. And we want them to tell them, surrender your guns, surrender ammunition, hand over to government, exchange it with the pen, exchange it with training, so that we can be able to change this valley. We're also going to do sports activities that are going to be supported by security agencies, the Office of IG, the KDF, working in a multi-agency way. You will see sports activities around this August and other cultural activities that are going to bring together young people so that we can enhance that interaction. We have a very robust program in this Kerio Valley. We know that this problem has persisted for long. We are going to be relentless in working on this issue, and we are not going to spare anybody. I am glad that all the leaders of this county are in the forefront in supporting this process. I want to urge them not to fall into the temptation of politics, because elections is around the corner in the next 2 years as we do campaigns and so forth. I want to urge them not to fall into the temptation of cheap politics, of inciting citizens to fight themselves or to engage in acts of banditry, because that will be retrogressive. And also because we are going to be very, very, very ruthless. We are not going to exchange lives of our people for political gain. I want to just assure, these are my friends. These are elected leaders. We were elected together, so I know them. And being my friends, I have told them, on certain terms that the president has given us marching orders. We are not going to compromise on the question of security. We also want to do something about identification of people in Baringo. You have about 161,000 people in Baringo County who are of adult age, above 18, and they don't have any ID. They do not enjoy SHA. They don't enjoy any government services that are supposed to be enjoyed by people. Even their children cannot get birth certificates. They are not, recognized in any form. And these people are losing a lot because they are not identified. You will be seeing when I launch this mobile registration live capture system that will work with county government and the national government to see, and all the leaders here, to see how to mobilize our people to get identity cards. Tiatich is the most notorious constituency with about 40-something thousand people, almost 45,000 people who do not have ID. That is calamitous. That is actually a disaster. You have people who are 70 years and they've never seen an ID. That is gross marginalization. That person cannot get any government services, or perhaps they don't need it because there is no government services in the first place, presence of government inside there. So we want to work towards registering them, but also ensuring that we provide government services and government presence in that place. I have become very detailed on that issue because it's the most important issue in this county and this region. Other than that, we still have problem of proliferation of illicit alcohol here, drugs, some of which adulterated ethanol that is being sold in this place. The security officers have done their part, but we need to up our game. I have said in the past, and I repeat, that there is no way alcohol can be sold in any place and drugs can be sold in any place without the knowledge of the chief, assistant chief, and the OCS. And we're going to become very firm on the police officers who are condoning this very unacceptable behavior. Other issues that are necessary and good for security in this area shall be discussed in the Jukwaa Usalama. I thank you very much for listening to us, and I want now to take only 3 questions, then we go. Let me take from Chepsoi, Ruto, Flora, and lastly you. And then I saw somebody else, there was said that race is that. You will share, okay. Now let's start with Chepsoi. No, some of the bullets that bandits have are sold by police officers. And that's a fact because we have rogue also police officers in different parts. You have rogue government officials who facilitate those. Again, targeted, intelligence-led investigations have led to a number of people who have been charged. Sometimes I think we need to be publicizing when we charge people for different crimes, and I think DIG, we need to do that more because people never get to know that there are some people who have been arrested for selling ammunition or selling guns, and some of them, their cases are on. Some have even been convicted. Some have even been fired from government offices. And all these officers, whether we find you are in police or prisons or KDF or whatever, the necessary legal processes are used to make sure that those people are dealt with accordingly. So I must admit here that we have rogue officers who sell ammunition, but also there are civilians. There are civilians who actually sell guns and sell bullets, including professionals, teachers, businessmen, political actors, and I have been very ruthless in the past to say this openly, and we will continue being so. I have warned some of them privately and some of them publicly, as depending on the security reports we get. And I just want to consistently say here that we do not want to encourage selling of firearms in any part of our country, and let alone this county. And I have said this again, that the temptation usually when you have faced with bandits, the temptation is also if your area has been attacked, there is always a temptation from the local leadership to say, hata sisi tununue bunduki na tununue risasi, we also want to defend ourselves. And I am discouraging that temptation. I have been very firm. I have been very ruthless. In even my own village is not spared. You know, Mbobut is one of the places where we have security problems. And in the recent past, since ruthless on everybody there, and telling them that, you know, some places in Marakwet where it was peaceful, now people, because of attacks from neighboring counties, people want to also encourage themselves to arm themselves. We will not accept that. And I've told them we will not accept that. And every person who is, there's no justification that we have been attacked for many years. There's nothing like that. Let government do its part. If we have failed as government before, we have now come out to say we want to assure you that we will do every operation to make sure that the place is peaceful. And the Cabinet Secretary for Interior does not speak for the sake of speaking. The Cabinet Secretary of Interior is well briefed by the necessary security agencies and has the proper intelligence report. If I say something, I have said it from a point of information. I am accountable to National Security Council. I don't just make statements in Baringo for the sake of it. I will be held into account by the President and by the National Security Council. So when I warn you, and I warn my people we live together here that, hey, take care, this corner, you are about to engage in acts that can jeopardize security of the country and your own region, I mean it. And I am serious about it.
Take one questions once.
Okay, I take the good lady was, it was you and then her.
Yeah, all of them.
This is the first position for Usalama. Might be what can be what can be what that we have already achieved.
Okay.
And number two is that of the Maraga report on police information. What is the implementation of that report? Since now we have seen that there are emerging crimes, there are new crimes that are yet the police officers are yet to be trained by the and finally, on the issue of Shakahola, is there a lapse of the intelligence report?
You will mix me up with many questions that are not related to Baringo. Yeah. What was the first part? It was?
The 21st edition.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we have our host. I would rather go say this in the hall, but let me just say that we have changed so many things. We have come up with policy, which is now I'm taking to cabinet on village elders. We've come out on policy on how to reorganize NPR, courtesy of Jukwaa. We've come up with policy that is related to the question of our training of our officers, police officers, and also training of the Ngao officers. In fact, courtesy of Jukwaa, we have sorted out almost all our ACCs. We are moving to the chiefs. We've found ways of being able to do that. So we are getting a lot of feedback on so many things. And the Jukwaa Usalama report will finally be compiled and will be handed over to His Excellency the President, who will launch it officially. But also, I will make public all the policies that we have proposed as a result of the people's views. This is a bottom-up approach to listening to what people say. And I will be mentioning in the room some of the ideas I've had, which are very novel as a result of this process. So it is a very important process. But also it's important just not to sit in Nairobi, just to sit with the people whom you work with. Than the chiefs and assistant chiefs to be hearing there is a cabinet secretary somewhere in Arambe House. It's important for them to feel their presence of government and get the feedback. Sometimes it's important leaders just listen. It's enough to listen, you know, and not just always to talk. And you will see today, we in the leadership will listen more. It is the people who will talk who are on the grassroots. The question of Shakahola, there is no lapse at all. We are very firm as a government. We have made sure that everything that was proposed in the report and the lapses that happened are sorted. That's why you saw, as soon as the first case of radicalization was seen, we dealt with it immediately. Remember, this religion, you can't even know that radicalization until you see queer behavior. Otherwise, people are going to some church here all the time, somebody is coming to preach, everybody has freedom of religion and so forth. It's until you see the next step where people are fasting to starve or something like that. So it's a very complex issue. It's not just something that happens at once. And it's worse when it happens in a place like Chagama. Do you know Chagama Ranch is how many acres? It's 150,000 acres. So if people go and hide in a small corner somewhere, it's not very easy to find out where that person is, because people are living their life. The police do not police every citizen every day. But at the magnitude of Shakahola, I don't think anything like that will happen again in our country. Police reforms are ongoing. We are on course. Like, for example, this year, the modernization program is ongoing. Last year, you've seen what we have done in Baringo. You think we didn't do it just like that. We did because there was modernization. There are MRAPs here, there are better trained police officers, better equipment, and so forth. Modernization is going on. Next step, we want to do training. Police officers are the most disadvantaged in government training. We will move to the training level and so forth and so forth. And then we are doing a recruitment in the next few weeks that will involve getting another 10,000 police officers. That will increase the strength and help us to combat crime and also fill the gaps that have been there for 3 years through national attrition, retirement, and so forth. Yes, madam. The security operations, yeah. How will I remember all those ones? Yeah, okay, last one. Yeah. On the specific numbers, on your request on all specific numbers, the number of police officers, the number of cases that have been, guns that have been confiscated, the number of people, I will share that during the forum because it is documented. And then the NPR vetting is almost complete, and the training will have in this financial year. We were waiting to cross to the new financial year to get the resources. In the next 1 month, they will all go back for training. The ones we have recruited afresh, and the ones we have vetted afresh, the recruitment will fill the place where those we have discharged were occupying. Those who have committed acts of criminality, you know, some of them we have charged them. Somewhere we don't have enough evidence to charge them, but we know from an intelligence report we just discharge them, and then we replace them with new NPR. We also want to, as I told you, part of the policy that we changed because of Jukwaa Usalama is the NPR policy. So we want to attach all NPR officers to a police post, a police station, or the next police camp, so that there is a greater level of accountability on their part. What else were you asking? Yes. Let me ask you, if police officer with that big MRAP today go to fight with bandits, yeah, and they are discharging many, 1,000 or hundreds of bullets, how will you account for that? No, I'm just saying, how will you account for that? Yeah, the thing is, if you have a rogue officer, they will always find a way of accounting for it. They'll tell you, today we went for operation, we used 1,000 ammunitions, and maybe they used 50. Then they sell 950. I'm just saying as an example. It's not like we have found such a... And we need to be frank as citizens, otherwise we'll be lying to each other. So if you get a rogue police officer, they have a way to get away, because that's a bush. Somebody has been fighting the whole day. You don't know how many bullets he has used. So the thing is always to use intelligence-led reports to get the ones who are rogue. And the citizens will tell us. They'll tell you, niko na pesa kidogo, kuna ka officer anataka kuniletea kitu, and that information will come from community, and a lot of it where it has come from community, we have had to take disciplinary and legal action against the police officers. Yeah, and then we need community policing, we need cooperation, we need all these people to work with us to sort out this issue. Last one. Oh yeah, the Simosoy division and ward is has a challenge of the confidence of the residents to go back to the place. Yeah. So in part of our security meeting today, we were discussing how best that can be achieved. Maybe we need to create a clear buffer, declare some of that areas to be disturbed and clear buffer, then people can know. Maybe we need to improve police station presence there instead of just operation team. There is something we need to do. Then we can now engage the community and tell them with all confidence, go back to your home. But one of the things that is giving us problem around Simosoy also is this titling issue. Yeah, if we succeeded, you know how vast it is. If we are able to succeed, everybody to get their title, it will help us deal with these bandits who come there and claim also ownership of land. Yeah. As I said, let me give you those numbers during the forum. Last one. Yes, yes. Yeah. Well, let me say that the government doesn't compensate its own citizens for criminal acts perpetuated by citizens. We have no government policy for that. We have no budget. What government has done in the past is to support, by giving people mabati, iron sheets, that cannot be called compensation. If you call it compensation, there is not. Compensation is quantified, calculated, and everybody is restored to the situation where they are. Government is unable to do that. But in terms of supporting its citizens that are, because that's a disaster, we are able through special programs to get mabatis, to get building materials, and help them to go back. We are able to do through livestock restocking program to also get them, and it's ongoing. The restocking program is ongoing. But even that restocking does not mean a person who lost 100 goats is able to get 100 goats. At least you give them something small to start their life, and that will continue. But more importantly, government should work harder to ensure that, as you have said, to ensure that security is achieved. On the question of people going back, it's the same answer I gave. She had asked already, particularly in Simosoy, that area is one of the most affected in terms of people going back. In Baringo South, a number of places, there is on the question of IPOA has constitutional responsibility to investigate and bring to book police officers who have misused their authority. From our part, and I gave a clear policy direction to the IG that police officers also have a right to use their ammunition to defend themselves and to defend the life of others. We also need to know that these people were carrying petrol bombs and carrying and stealing guns and burning courts and burning police stations. These are not ordinary citizens. So IPOA should call them out, because the people who are mobilized to come to burn a police station, steal a gun, burn guns, cannot be equated to peaceful protesters. You cannot therefore say there was a disappropriate use of force, because you have not measured the force of the petrol that was used to burn Kikuyu police station, for example, or Olkalau police station, for you to know. You haven't even said something about the remandees, was it remandees or suspects that were in police station in Olkalau where they were burned to death by these people. So you can't call them protesters, and you can't really quantify now to say that the police used this proportionate force until you do proper investigation. I encourage, because IPOA still is within our sector, I encourage IPOA to become very careful with their statements they issue, because the investigative responsibility is in their own hands, because then they are likely to jeopardize their own investigations. If they pass judgment before they do the investigations, then Kenyans will ask, where is your file that indicts any police officer specifically? And you know, this is specific to a police officer. We have also said, in the situation that the police officers were operating, in my policy directions, all those police officers must be given legal representation, just in case they are going to be called to answer, because they were not doing that on their own. They were doing it on behalf of the people of Kenya, protecting their lives and their property. So whereas we will not cover up for someone who committed heinous acts, we will also not abandon our police officers who are protecting our nation. Let me say this also. It is very interesting that everybody who is complaining about everyone who died, everyone is saying, my child was in the shop, they were buying scratch card, they were doing this, they were doing. So I'm asking myself, these people who banned police stations, people who banned shops, they banned the court, who are these people and where are they? Everybody we have arrested and charged, every human rights person, Law Society of Kenya are coming to defend them. So I'm asking, who will defend these people whose properties have been banned? Who will defend the court? Who will defend the police station? Who will defend the police officers? So I think it is time as a country we have honest conversation and we avoid this thing of sugarcoating these issues around the question of accountability on the part of police only, without accountability on the part of the criminals. Seth, did you have any questions? What we do, we cannot exhaust every question now. We will do it in Jukwaa la Usalama. Thank you very much. Asante sana.